Have you ever watched a billion-dollar startup shoot itself in the foot in such spectacular fashion? So June 16th, that's when Cursor, the AI coding darling, valued at nearly $10 billion, decided to completely screw over their most loyal users. So how do you turn passionate advocates into furious critics in just 18 days? How do you take a tool that felt like magic and make it feel like a rigged casino? And here's the real kicker. They just raised $900 million and still can't figure out how to make money without burning their users. Today I'm going to break down how Cursor's pricing disaster reveals the ugly truth about AI economics and why I think this is just the beginning. So when people are yelling at me that I say the AI bubble's bursting, one of the first things that you see is when companies start making dramatic pricing changes. And that's one of the first signs. Let's dive in. Welcome to Startup Hack. I'm Spencer, and here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers and build custom software solutions for companies. With a decade of executive leadership as a fractional CTO and 25 years in software development, I've mastered transforming tech teams and products. All right, so remember when I warned you about the AI bubble starting to burst? Well, Cursor just totally proved my point in one of the most painful ways possible. This isn't just about pricing, it's about the fundamental economics of AI colliding with reality. Here's the thing. This company is valued at $10 billion, and yet they can't manage and yet they managed to create one of the biggest PR disasters in recent tech history. And they're just doing it because they're actually trying to move to profitability. But this is what I've been saying all along. So this is when you start to see a bubble burst. So on June 16th, Cursor quietly changed their pricing structure from 500 requests per month to a $20 token-based system without properly warning users. Users who thought they had unlimited usage suddenly discovered they were burning through their $20 in a matter of days, with overage charges automatically kicking in. The company's own blog post admitted, "We were not clear about clear that unlimited usage was only for auto and not for all other models," basically admitting that they misled their users. Now, one user on Reddit reported going from never hitting their limit to racking up $18 in overage charges in a single day and called it absolutely ridiculous. Now, of course, the backlash was so intense that Cursor had to offer full refunds for unexpected usage between June 16th and July 4th. Essentially admitting their rollout was a disaster. This wasn't just a pricing change, it's a fundamental shift in how users interact with the product, turning predictable monthly costs into usage-based billing nightmare. So let's kind of dive into this here a little bit. So somebody's like, what is Cursor doing with its pricing? I have to swap out at this point. So he's like, back in March, he wrote the Cursor was great. Then 2 months ago, it was still good. But this latest round of updates is absolutely ridiculous. In fact, it's so bad that I'm going to reconsider moving to another IDE. Now, this is a Medium writer who has a ton of followers, right? And so you know this is going to be bad if he's starting to write against Cursor when in the past he's supported it. Logged in my Cursor today, only see that I had been ripped through my entire $20 monthly quota and then was already up to $18 in additional quota. So $40 for the month already, right? And so he shows this here and shows how he did this just in a couple of days. So he's like, what the actual heck, right? Whereas in the past, he was able to use it. They made the pricing all so ambiguous. Now, this was so bad, and you can see the TechCrunch reports on it, and everybody starts to talk about it, and he's going through and talking about a lot of this, and he's like, am I doing something wrong here? So I could code everything on Claude 3.5 before, so much better. He's like, I'd like you to help. What should I be using? So he's asking for any tips and insights would be great. Now, let's go right to the horse's mouth here, right? So on July 4th, because it's Independence Day and we're all about liberty, the new pro plan works and why are clarifying our pricing, right? And so this is them coming out and saying, hey, we had the original post that was released, which made a pro plan and ultimate plan introduced. 30th, we updated the original posting and the pricing page to improve their clarity. And then we want to apologize and provide more details in this post, right? So he goes through and he breaks down what he did. Why did we change the plan? Let me help you just put this into just a very few words. Why did they change the plan? Because they have to make money. This is the problem here, right? They have to make some money. There's basic math that goes here. They raised the valuation at $900 million, and they know it's probably going to be their last unless they can come up with an actual revenue model. Surprise, right? And that's the problem here. These AI companies have been running so fast for valuation just because they're running off of FOMO to be the first ones to prove that they can do something, that they're not really stopping to think about what they should do about generating revenue. So Anysphere, Cursor's parent company, just raised $900 million at a $9.9 billion valuation, nearly quadrupling their worth since December 2024. I don't actually blame AnySphere or Cursor's creators here, right? I blame the idiot investors who are actually entertaining these valuations. So despite having over $1 billion in total funding and claiming $500 million in annualized revenues, so check that out, $500 million in annualized revenues, $1 billion total funding, they couldn't figure out a sustainable pricing without blindsiding their users. So according to Simon Willisons, who's one of the best AI analysts out there, Cursor was likely losing money on some of their more savvy users who maximized token usage with their 500 request limit. The company admitted that the hardest requests cost an order of magnitude more than simple ones. So basically they're saying they never properly calculated their unit economics. They moved from predictable request-based pricing to volatile token-based pricing because they couldn't handle the cost variability and modern AI models. So with my years in software development, I can tell you that this reeks of poor product management and even worse financial planning. Now, of course, the subreddits just exploded with criticism, with users calling Cursor's business model just burning VC money on subsidizing API requests. One top commenter noted that the churn for AI code editor is at 40 to 60% and predicted that their $100 million ARR is likely to go down and to the right. Users discovered that Cursor was basically a wrapper around other companies' AI models with no real defensible technology of their own. The community turned on Cursor's management, with one user saying, "Are they insane? Take the money and run," referring to OpenAI's acquisition offer. Comments like all-time bag fumble and "I'm mad if I were an employee" showed even how potential hires were reconsidering the company. The backlash was so severe that Cursor moderators were reportedly banning and removing anything that was even remotely negative about Cursor in their subreddits. That's pretty bad, folks. Like, if you're having to ban people from making comments, that's going to give you into, bad spots really quick. Now, Cursor's business model depends entirely on third-party AI providers like OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, and XAI, companies that they don't control. And that cost a ton of money. As one Reddit user perfectly explained, these rappers' whole businesses models hinges on someone else's technology they don't own or control. So when pricing changes from the underlying AI providers, companies like Cursor's get squeezed between maintaining user satisfaction and staying profitable. The market is finally catching up with these VC-backed wrappers as users realize they're paying premium prices for basic API access. Most AI coding assistants offer similar functionality because they're all built on the same foundational models. There's no real differentiations. So this becomes a race to the bottom, and it's begun with alternatives like Claude Code, Windsurfer, and even open source options providing similar values but at lower costs. So Cursor's initial blog post was so confusing that they had to update on the 30th and then publish a full apology on the 4th. So it took them 3 times to actually try to even begin to explain to people what this was. Users were blindsided by the change, with so many discoveries surprising that they didn't notice it until their bills went up. This level of communication failure at a $10 billion company shows a fundamental lack of customer empathy and product management competence. And that's the problem here. These AI unicorns have gone to unicorn status so fast without a real revenue model. The basic economics don't make sense. So AI inference costs are astronomical, and every query to models like Claude Sonnet or GPT-4 and now into Grok 4 are going to add up really quickly. The era of VC subsidized AI usage is ending as investors demand actual profitability from companies with billion-dollar valuations. Surprise, right? So when people talk about the bubble bursting, they think I'm saying that AI is going to go away. Let me make this very clear. I'm not saying that AI is going to go away, but companies like Cursor, who have been going on these crazy valuations and raising money to pump into their valuation, are going to be met with these same kind of things that are going to be examples of the bubble bursting. So Cursor has a new $200 a month Ultra plan with 20x more usage, and it reveals the true cost structure. Most users are getting massively subsidized access. So Simon Willison noted that $200 pricing tier is becoming standard across AI tools, creating significant lock-in effects for users. So Grok 4 just came out and released their $300 model, right? Again, showing how expensive this is. And I don't think that's still even going to crack the surface of this. Now, OpenAI acquisition that could have saved them. According to CNBC, OpenAI expressed interest in acquiring AnySphere last year, which could have solved their economic problems overnight. Cursor's founder chose not to sell out to OpenAI, a decision that now looks incredibly short-sighted given their current struggles. But I get it. I wouldn't want to sell OpenAI either because I can't stand OpenAI. But Reddit users called this an all-time fumble, right? And questioned the sanity of turning down a deal with one of the few profitable AI companies. Now, I don't think OpenAI is profitable, so I think that was not necessarily accurate of them. But instead of becoming part of a sustainable ecosystem, they chose to compete directly with their own suppliers in a losing battle. And this decision highlights the hubris of many of the AI startups who think they can outmaneuver and the very companies that provided the core technology. Not only that, they're just absolutely ignoring basic economics on their valuations. And everybody's lost their mind when it comes to AI. So I really think the Anthropic's Claude Code launch with similar functionality and more transparent pricing, immediately becoming the new favorite among developers. So we're seeing a mass exodus from Cursor over to things like Claude Code and other systems. At $9.9 billion, Cursor is valued higher than many established software companies despite having no defensible moat. The company's revenue is largely subscription-based, but their recent pricing disaster shows how fragile that model really is. With churn rates at 40 to 60% as reported by Reddit users, maintaining growth becomes nearly impossible without constant new user acquisition. And that acquisition right now is super expensive. Cursor's struggles represents a broader reckoning for AI companies, i.e. bubble bursts, that are basically fancy interfaces to other companies' models. The market is realizing that most AI startups offer no real technological innovation beyond prompt engineering and UI design. So companies like Cursor that depend entirely on external AI providers are discovering they have no real competitive advantages. This Cursor disaster proves that unlimited AI usage at low prices was never sustainable. It was just VC subsidized customer acquisition. Developers need to understand the true cost of AI interactions and budget accordingly rather than expecting artificial lower prices. This is why here at Startup Pack, I love to build AI systems for customers on servers that they purchase. We build the systems for them. We use a lot of open source models as well as building out their own machine learning models in cases where it makes sense. And we build these on their prem and pre-process data. This is one of the ways we're able to keep AI costs dramatically lower. But when you're evaluating AI tools, look for transparent pricing, clear usage limits, and companies that own their core technology stack. The era of cheap AI is ending. That's part of the bubble bursting. And as companies face pressure to become profitable, you have to expect that prices are going to rise across the board. So build your own workflow around a single AI tool so that you can own that technology and then you can stay sustainable on it and you're not moving with the foundation that moves underneath you. And so check out my playlist about how you can build your own AI server for $1,000 to $1,500. I even have one tutorial that I show you for $500 that you can build a really good AI system. So companies that survive the AI shakeout will be those that solve real problems and use real revenue models, not just those with really good marketing schemes and VC subsidized customer acquisition. Now, what are your thoughts? Do you agree? Do you disagree? I love to have a great discussion, so leave a comment down below and make sure you like and subscribe. Here at Startup Hack, we love to train software developers as well as to build custom software solutions for companies. So check out startuphack.com/Spencer because I'm sure we can help you out to help your company work like a well-oiled machine, and here's some great information about our services.
Hi, I'm Spencer, a fractional CTO. With over a decade of executive leadership and 25 years in software development, I've transformed technology teams and products for businesses just like yours. As your fractional CTO, you get the strategic guidance of a seasoned technology executive without the full-time commitment. Perfect for companies ready to leverage cutting-edge technology without expanding headcount. My team at Startup Hack has already built advanced AI agents for small and medium businesses, automating complex workflows and delivering advanced ROI to human workflows. We specialize in creating custom software that connects your systems into a single coherent technology ecosystem. Our development approach focuses on tangible business outcomes. For one client, we developed AI-powered workflows that cut days off of human processes. For another company, by connecting multiple systems, we reduced processing time to increase their ROI by over 75%. We don't just write code, we architect solutions that scale. Whether you need cloud system architecture, data integration between legacy systems, or custom AI agents that automate your unique business processes, my team delivers results that exceed your expectations. Having led technology for a lot of companies and launched 7 successful brands of my own, I bring battle-tested expertise to your business challenges. Our specialty is turning technological complexity into business advantage. So if you're ready to harness the power of AI and custom software to drive your business forward, let's connect connect. Together, we'll build technology that doesn't just solve today's problems, it positions you for tomorrow's opportunities. Technology leadership, decades of experience, AI powered. Reach out today and we can help you. Check out starterpack.com/Spencer.